Cleveland County. Welcome. This is the month of April. I am here with Aaron Herms.
Yes, ma'am.
Herms, who he and his girlfriend Ashton
Yes, ma'am.
are the owners of Terrapin Organic Farms.
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
And we're going to be talking about Bak Choy, but let's find out why we're called Terrapin Farms first.
Well, my girlfriend and I, we had a small turtle for a while, and that when we met, we had it, and we came back together after about 6 years, and we got back together, and we are where we are now. And she still had the little turtle when we got back together, so
Whoa,
we decided.
So this was an ancient turtle by that time.
It was.
Whoa,
they
did
do
it
live a
grow
long
any?
time. Yes, ma'am, a little bit, but it was just one of the small, little goldfish bowl turtles, but yeah.
And the organic part, that's very important, I know, to a lot of our viewers out there.
Yes, ma'am.
Talk to us about your passion for organic.
It all started when I lived out west. I worked on an organic tomato farm, and they just thrive to keep as much, clean and
no
renewable,
pesticides, no fungicides,
no chemicals at
no
all.
Chemicals. Uh-huh.
We are very passionate about that. We follow the OMRI guidelines as best we can.
And that's Armory?
OMRI, O-M-R-I, the Organic Medical Research Institute.
Oh, that's an acronym.
Yes, ma'am.
Who knew? There you go.
And they search back and make sure that everything that goes into their soils, anything that it's stamped with, that everything's organic, even the feed, all the way back to the grain. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Well, now, do you, and are those standards, or do you buy from them?
They're just standards.
Okay.
It's a university, and they study all kinds of plants, soils, fertilizers, stuff like that. Anything that'll go into your plants, your plants will drink. Okay. And just make sure that it roots back to being completely organic from the earth.
Right. Well, I can tell you, he is passionate, folks. And we came by. You have some chickens, and I know I bought eggs from your place last Saturday at the farmers market, and those are all organic eggs.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct?
They're on an organic-based diet, and the only thing that they would ever get that's not organic would have to blow in from somewhere else, because it's not coming from here.
Right. Oh, well, that's great.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Bak Choy.
Yes,
all
ma'am.
right. Tell us why you even thought you could grow Bak Choy in Cleveland County.
Well, I have a roommate at the moment, and she is Korean, and this is known as an old Chinese medicinal plant, and tastes kind of like mustard, and it doesn't have a head. Actually, it starts at the bottom and leafs up to the top. You can kind of tell now how it will grow, and it's in the chinesis. It's a Chinese cabbage is what it is.
Okay. So I'm going to hold this one, and you're going to tell me. Well, now, first of all, and I ask you, there's baby Bak Choy, and then there's bigger Bak Choy.
Yes, ma'am.
But a bigger Bak Choy comes from a baby Bak Choy.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So how tall will this get when it's a big Bak Choy?
It'll be about 6 to 9 inches, so I'd say about this tall. And it'll be really full at the bottom, and then it'll thin out and come back full at the top with the leaf spreading.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, of course, we'll be cooking this as well, but can you eat these leaves by themselves, like in a salad?
Yes, ma'am, you sure can.
Okay.
Like I said, they have wonderful health benefits. They're known as a Chinese medicinal plant for, as long as I can remember, for sure. I don't know for facts, but all the research that I've done is it seems like one of the healthier plants out there that you can eat. Okay. A lot more healthy than your iceberg lettuce and stuff like that.
Right. All right. Well, now in the rest of our time on camera, I want you to talk about the fact that even though you own a lot of land here, I mean 18 acres is a pretty good size patch of land, but you're trying to recover that slowly over time, and then in the interim you are growing your vegetables that you have at the farmers market.
Yes, ma'am.
Like on your driveway. In like beds that would have had flowers by your house, but they're vegetables. So tell us how you conceived of this idea of growing vegetables on concrete that anybody, you don't have to have land, folks,
Nope.
to have fresh vegetables.
Yeah, completely. I have a lot of plants that I start during the wintertime. Like I said, we've had plants since February, and we start them inside underneath grow lights.
Yeah, and we forgot to say we are in a greenhouse,
yes,
folks.
It's warm in
99 degrees. But anyway, that's where you start everything.
Yeah.
So, and that really helped to have a greenhouse.
Oh, it did.
And is it expensive to put one up?
No, these here are just fence posts, actually. You can buy fence posts, and you can buy a tube bender for about $60 online, and it hooks to the hitch of your truck, and you can bend it all yourself, and buy another piece, and it slides right into it. And the plastic is, $100, $200 or so, and you got yourself a nice greenhouse.
Wow, yeah. So you can actually grow things all winter.
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
Okay.
We like to do greens in here, and our future plan is to do aquaponics in here.
Yes.
A closed circuit aquaponics system, and do blue catfish.
Oh, really?
Yes, ma'am. Channel cat.
My gracious. Well, we had a trout vendor that moved out of the country.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
we'll really.
I'm sorry.
We love blue catfish.
Blue channel catfish. Yes, ma'am.
Well, aren't those big?
They'll get pretty big,
Oh,
but you can kind of watch them and tell when to pick them and when to leave them, I guess.
Well, Aaron, thank you so much. This
It's
has
great
been
to
a
have
real treat.
Oh,
Bak
thank you.
Choy. Stay tuned. Nancy Abasier-Kong will be telling us why, other than what Aaron's already told us, why we need to eat bok choy. And then we'll cook it in the kitchen. So stay tuned.
I am Noel T. Manning II, hanging out with Principal Ed Rooney over there. Principal Rooney, how are you? It's a human-fish hybrid. And
sounds delicious.
Oh, man. Dude, yes.
You know, I knew he was just one step away from that for a while.
Let this wild Wookiee treatment give you the wavy mane that would make Nobby jealous.
They were talking about Uncle Festus. Was it
No,
Uncle?
Festus was on Gunsmoke. Fester was on the Addams Family.
That's one. Rock.
Well, I think you spoke too soon. I'm not drunk.
I'll pray for you. I know people.
Only 2 years until graduation. Then what? The Advanced Manufacturing Academy is a partnership between Cleveland County Schools and Cleveland Community College. It offers you, rising 11th graders, the chance to learn job skills, earn valuable credentials, and complete your high school studies all at the same time. By completing the Advanced Manufacturing Academy, you'll graduate high school ready to start work at way above minimum wage. Check out the Academy and give yourself a head start on a great future.
Hi, Cleveland County. Welcome back to Cleveland County Kitchen. My name is Deborah Blanton, and I am here with Nancy Abasier-Kong, Cooperative Extension, Family and Consumer Sciences, and that's close enough.
Right, extension agent.
Extension agent, thank you.
Right,
And as you already know, we're going to talk about bok choy, which is a fabulous vegetable which does grow here, as you've just seen the farmer with the little baby. Now, of course, what we're cooking in the next segment of this show, we got from one of the stores in town. So, this is a new vegetable that's coming along that I think more farmers would like to grow. So, Nancy, why should we grow bok choy? And most of all, why should we eat it?
Yes, well, Deborah, bok choy is a good choice, and it's one that is, it's a cold weather or a cool weather vegetable, and we saw it small.
We did,
because
yes.
it can grow in the spring or in the fall, but when the weather turns hot or starts getting hot, then that's the end of bok choy's availability.
Like Brussels sprouts,
right?
or
like
kale,
several other
anything
things,
like
lettuces,
that.
and some other things like that. So we're learning about seasonal foods and so forth with our Cleveland County Kitchen segments.
Exactly.
But with bok choy, this is something that is relatively new here in the United States, but it has been grown for centuries in China.
Yes.
And it may be called Chinese cabbage.
Okay.
or bok choy, or there's several other names that you may see this listed as.
Okay.
And of course, it comes in, you can pick it young and immature, and it's baby bok choy. It'll be small.
Okay, which would be probably about like
Right,
this
about like
size.
that.
Uh-huh.
And then the full grown or mature plants are just regular bok choy,
Which
and they
would
are
be
larger.
probably about this
They
size.
could be that size. Now, when you're selecting, just like any vegetable, we want to look at fresh looking. It should be, and of course with bok choy, we have the white stalks or stems and the green leaves.
Right.
So the stalks should be white. There is a variety that could be a pale green on the stalk
Okay.
portion.
Okay.
But at any rate, it should not be blemished. You don't want it to have brown spots and so forth. The leaves are a dark green. You want them to be bright looking,
Right.
fresh.
Right. Not wilted.
Not wilted. That's right, not wilted. So you may see you sometimes at the grocery store. Often, if it's been there a while,
Yes.
then you'll need to pass over those and just wait for the fresh to come in. And of course, when we can buy at our farmers market bok
Oh,
choy,
we know it's fresh.
then that's right. You know it's
Correct.
fresh, and you'll
Correct.
probably have the selection of size. But if you are going to cook bok choy, which it can be cooked, steamed, boiled, braised, microwaved, roasted,
Oh.
grilled.
Oh my
So
gracious.
you can cook it any way. It's very versatile.
Yes.
Very versatile.
Well, that's good to know.
And just takes a little bit of seasoning, a little olive oil, salt and pepper, or if you want to put some other seasonings, a little red pepper flakes if you like a little hot
A little spice.
to go with
right,
it. Right, you can do that as well.
Okay.
But if you are going to, you can add it in a stir fry,
Right.
something like that. But if you're cooking bok choy, cook the stems first. Put the stems in
Okay.
and let those start to cook, maybe a couple of minutes, and then add your greens
Okay.
so that your greens are not too limp, but you still want the stalk portion to be crisp tender.
Right. Right.
Crisp
right.
tender.
But it
And
takes a
then
little bit longer
little
to get
longer.
it that way than the leaves.
Yes.
And I'm assuming this is true for the little baby bok choy too. Whatever you're talking about, the same
Right.
description goes for the baby.
Yes, it applies to both. It applies to both. Now, with the baby bok choy, if you wanted to grill that, you can just put a little olive oil over it, season it with a little bit of kosher salt and pepper, and then just place it down on your grill.
On the grill.
Like you might endive or some other
Yes.
whole vegetables of that type. Just slice it in half, and you place that cut side down.
Oh, in half.
Right,
Okay.
slice it in half.
And then lay
and then you
that-
lay the cut side after you've washed it.
Right.
And then dried it.
Right.
And then you're ready to cook.
Well, I know you have some printouts that you'd like to show our
Yes.
viewers.
Our fact sheets, and of course we always have a fact sheet on about the product, and this one we're using this month is from the University of Arkansas.
Okay.
And with Cooperative Extension, we do have available to us materials from all across the
Right.
country, which has been good. So
Right.
this one from Arkansas says bok choy, an odd looking vegetable.
Right.
And really when we look at it, it is, but it gives us some of this basic information that we've talked about today and a recipe.
Oh,
also.
fabulous.
And then from Colorado State Cooperative Extension, there is another recipe for a quick stir-fried bok choy. And of course, you can put any combination of vegetables in. You don't have to just follow the recipe
Sure.
here. But this will give you the background on how to store it. Cabbage and bok choy are not recommended that you can them if you're going to preserve.
Okay.
Canning is not recommended.
Right.
You could freeze. You'll still get a limp product.
Right.
But if you are going to freeze, maybe to use, because you could use it in soups,
Oh,
a
of course you
handful in
could.
soups or something like that, you could blanch it a minute and a half,
Good.
quick chill, drain, dry it off, and then place it out on your sheet tray. Freeze it
Like you do okra.
just like we do the other things. That's right. And then package it into your freezer bags. And when you need a handful, you're ready to go.
Right. Well, and we're ready to go. So thank you so much for watching. And Bak Choy is the word for the month of April.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Harrell, your host for Fur Your Information. Is provided to entertain and educate you about all things pet throughout Cleveland County. We have various hosts join me each month on the show to talk about dogs, cats, reptiles, snakes, and even horses. But we want you to stick through to the second half of the show because then we will have pets live on our set that you can adopt to be a part of your forever family. Fur Your Information once a month on C19 TV and online at c19.tv.
Welcome back. We're here with the real product this morning. I am here also with Nancy Fichter.
Hello.
Who has worked with the farmers market over the years. She is now getting ready to finish her doctorate.
We're hoping to start it.
Oh, get it started.
Party to get it started.
Good. But they're going to be traveling to England, so we won't see her for a while.
Yep.
But thank you for filling in this time.
Oh, you're welcome.
And we're doing 2 dishes today. We're cooking the bok choy over here. That's the finished product. This is a salad that all she's done is cut it up. And Nancy, you're on tap to show us how to do both these things.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so bok choy is a really wonderful vegetable, and I find it a very mild vegetable, and you typically will find it in Asian dishes, but today we're going to highlight it both in raw and a very simple cooked dish. Now, like all leafy vegetables, these are growing close to the ground, and so there's potentially a lot of dirt within all of its nooks and crannies. So, and it's really simple to clean, and I'm just going to show you briefly. First, you want to get all of the leaves kind of cleaned out. Like that. And then I'm just going to slightly push over it. Then you're going to cut off its core.
Right.
Now, I always compost, very important.
Yes, good.
And then as you'll see, actually, this one's really clean.
And actually, you can tell there's no dirt in
Yeah,
this either, Nancy.
it's very, very clean. But I'm going to go ahead and give it a rinse just to make sure.
That there's no grit in something that would say, ooh, I don't like bok choy, just
Yeah.
because of one little stone.
Yep, or a little
One
extra
little
crunch
grit.
in there that you didn't expect.
Exactly.
Yeah, and see, some of them, if they're cracking, you'll see they'll start to get, and if you can't get the dirt out, we'll just cut it out.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just put that over
Okay,
there.
that's fine.
Okay,
I got your bowl.
all right. Now for the cooked dish, what we're going to prepare for you is a garlic bok choy, and it can't be any simpler. I'm choosing to saute it in a pan, but you can also grill it. And it's just 3 simple ingredients: olive oil, garlic, and bok choy, and then your seasoning, of course. Now to fit in my pan, and some people don't necessarily like the really big chunks, but I'm going to show you what to do with those in a minute. So don't throw those away.
Good.
You leave some of the tender ones for the next one. And we want this big chunk cut off because that's...
Right.
But don't throw that one away either. You can use that too.
Oh, good.
I don't throw anything away.
Well, no, of course not. You've spent good money for
Yeah.
your vegetables that use as much of it as you can.
Okay,
Which I
we'll
think
leave
is
that
true
there.
of asparagus now that I
yes.
think about it.
Okay, so I'm heating this up. Now, I'm going to be using about a tablespoon of olive oil, but if you want to change your flavors up, you can use sesame oil or any other kind of flavored oil.
Yes.
It's a little bit more. And then I'm not going to do a hard saute on the garlic. I'm literally just going to kind of flavor it to begin with. Now, I have about 2 cloves of garlic in here. And I would use probably a full 2 cloves if it was a much bigger head, but because I've split it in half, I'm only going to use about
Okay.
half of that. I mean, you can,
Sure.
that's probably even a lot.
And you've
Yeah.
already grated it.
I've already crushed it. I love these things. I mean, I'm not a big kitchen
yes,
gadget person,
yes,
but this has
yes.
got to be the best thing ever.
Yes.
So, because you really want to use fresh garlic. I mean, in a pinch, you can use powdered garlic powder, but it's not going to taste the same. And this is just going to be sautéing, getting its flavor in for maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Like I said, you can. Now another flavor you could choose also, and I'm just going to use regular sea salt when I season it and some pepper, but you can also use soy sauce. I've got soy sauce.
Oh, yes.
Or I actually prefer liquid aminos. They have a stronger flavor and they have got more nutrition in them.
I've never heard of that.
I love them.
And that is like a regular staple in the grocery store as well? Oh,
Yeah, and this is the sesame oil.
Okay.
So that's gotten to be about where I want it. Like I said,
Okay.
it's just kind of seasoning it, and I'm gonna spread that oil around a little bit. Okay.
So
Make-
honestly, folks, it takes very little olive oil to cook anything, really.
I'm gonna put those in there. Now, I do not have a lid for this pan, but I'm always thinking about what I can use to seal in that heat. So I do
Sure.
have a cooking sheet.
That just fits over.
Yeah, it just
the
fits
whole
over
pan.
it because I like that steam to help cook it. And this will cook for about 8 minutes,
Okay.
usually on low heat.
Oh,
And
that's perfect.
so we're gonna get that started.
Okay.
Now, lots of vegetables you can eat raw.
Yes.
But not everybody thinks about it. And I think especially when you're typically introduced to a vegetable like bok choy, it's almost always cooked. But it's got, like I said, such a mellow flavor.
Wow.
What you can do, and I think a baby bok choy would be a much better option than the more mature option,
Right.
mature bok choy.
And we just described the baby in the store is about this tall, and then you all can see how large the mature is.
But see, with the inner bits, though, with the inner bits, you see that they're much smaller. And
yes.
and they're like a natural cup. So what I did is I just prepared some homemade dip. This happens to be a hummus. And if you put that on your party tray
Oh,
with some
yes.
carrots or something else, I mean, any dip will do. Like I said, it's a really mild flavor. Now, another thing you could do, I mean, we were just talking about this, is maybe put some peanut butter on it. I mean, kind of
Right.
like, if you think celery with a little less flavor, I think,
Right,
you
right,
can make
exactly.
that. So that's a really
Yes.
pretty party plate.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just going to keep checking on this.
And so are you, oh,
Yeah,
and
I'm
you're
just going
turning
to,
it
yeah, I'm
over.
going to turn it. Your garlic will start to brown, but don't worry about it. You just keep turning it around.
And approximately what temperature do you have it?
I have this at medium heat,
Okay.
but like I said, I keep putting that on there because I really like to have
Oh,
that.
that's good.
Okay. And then the salad, now this I did put a Asian flair into it because you have their bak choy. Now you can use it 100% bak choy because you've got that nice crunchy bit and then the
Right.
nice lettuce, I mean the leaf,
leaf
sorry.
part, uh-huh.
And then you can just chop it as thick or thinly as you like.
And it looks just like celery, only it's white instead of green.
And then when you get to if you have bigger leaves, you can just roll them.
Okay.
So that helps with the chopping of it.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And then all of that would just go into your salad bowl. Now, as she explained before, I started out with some that I had just done. But then to this, I had red onions, so I'm going to add red onions to it. But green onions would work beautifully.
And of course, this is kind of spring anyways,
Yes.
so that
Yeah.
would be perfect.
And these are lovely colors of purple. And then I've had some red peppers to it because I like the flavors of the extra sweetness.
Right.
And then I've actually just shredded some carrots. So you just add some carrots.
Oh, yes, yes.
And then I like peanuts in my Asian style, so I'm going to add some peanuts.
And so nuts are so important
And then
in your diet.
Yep. And then the dressing I prepared is basically, this is an Asian vinaigrette, and it basically has like your soy sauce in it, some sesame oil, some ginger, rice vinegar. I actually used apple cider vinegar, like an acid and some lemon juice.
Right.
And then I did fresh ginger and fresh garlic, salt and pepper.
Oh.
And so you can just,
And in no specific
mustard.
proportions, just what you like or what your family likes.
yes. I mean, and it's really easy to go. I mean, if you're somebody who needs portions, just easily go online. And again, I use what I have, and so it called for hot mustard, which is again something very typical you see in Asian restaurants.
Yes,
but I only
absolutely.
had grain mustard, so that's what I ended up using. Okay, so you will see this is the leaves are starting to wilt, and the white part is starting to get a little bit translucent. Now at this point, I mean you can see that I season it at this point because at the very end, what I like to do, and you don't have to, is I just add a little bit of water to kind of loosen up some of those flavors in there.
Oh, certainly.
And I put my pan over there.
Still more steam. Okay,
Just a little bit.
Good.
And like I said, I've chosen to saute it in this pan, but you could easily do it on a grill. In that case, I would put the oil on it first, just a light coating. You don't need a lot.
Okay.
And then put it directly on the grill.
And put the whole leaf part.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And you just have to be careful, I think, on a grill, because sometimes the leaf will might be a little burnt or a little around the edges, but
Right.
it's all good.
Oh, well, sure it is.
It's all good. So, okay. Because that way, like I said, that loosens up some of the flavors. Let me turn that off.
Okay. And there's your plate. Yeah.
And this may have been able to cook just a wee bit longer, but you can cook it for as long as you want. I always call those my grandma vegetables because, you know, my grandma used to cook them until they were
death.
to death.
Yes. Oh, how great.
So this way,
Well,
it's still a little crunchy.
Yes.
And it also, when you put that water in, it softens up the garlic a little bit. And at this point, if you wanted to, you probably could just add a little more flavorings, maybe a little bit of cornstarch to thicken it up to make kind of like
a sauce.
Like a sauce.
A sauce
So
over
you don't have
there.
to throw this away. This is like a lot of flavor right here.
Perfect.
So that's another
perfect.
idea. But lastly, since you see these extra bits here, now I know a lot of people tend to just throw them away. Again, I would just clean off that final bit of dirt here. And then what I do is I'll take these, I'll chop them up like this or even smaller bits,
Right.
and I'll use them in soups.
Oh, of course. Now.
Or I'll freeze them and then I'll throw them in a soup or
yes,
something like
yes.
that. So it's, or you could even shred them and put them in a coleslaw. I mean, there's every bit of this plant can be eaten, and it should be eaten, should not be wasted.
How wonderful.
It's amazing.
Yes.
So.
Well, as Nancy said in the former segment, she has a newsletter that is out on the Cooperative Extension's website, which goes into bok choy and slaw, freezing it. It loses its tightness, but it would do well in a soup.
Yeah, it's
Well,
very
Nancy,
good.
thank you so much.
Oh, thank
This
you. I
has been
appreciate it.
wonderful. You're welcome. Good luck with your adventure.
Thank you. Thank you.
See you next month, folks. Thanks for watching.